we're going to start streaming to YouTube, and then after a while, we'll start the audio.
Oh, my God.
Do you feel like your head is being squished?
No, this is great. I just can't stand the sound of my voice.
I love the sound of my voice. It's so friendly.
You're
and
lucky.
I have pit stains already, so there's that.
Well, TMI.
I think we're supposed to be more nervous than you.
I know.
I'm a nervous sweater. I talk about it all the time.
I have some too. So
my whole audience knows.
That's why we wear a couple shirts.
Yeah.
Well, usually I wear like tank tops, and then I was like, too cold today.
Yeah, it's kind of on that border of.
It's not too
tank top.
cold. It's just I was on vacation.
Yeah.
And not cold.
Where were you?
Where were you? Wait, what? Where were you? Jinx.
Where was I? We went to Texas, New Mexico, Arizona for a month and camped the shit out of national parks, and it was amazing, and went like hiking for 10 miles every day. And
Texas is great for being
national parks.
Yeah. Not people.
Well, people.
Sometimes.
Not
How
as
about
bad as New York.
Taos? You go to Taos?
No. Where is that?
New Mexico.
Earthships.
Earthships, man.
Oh.
So,
Yeah, he knows
they're
Earthships.
unbelievable.
No.
Michael
we
Reynolds. Dude's
were
brilliant.
all the way close to the border most of the time. So last year we did the same kind of route, First we went to Galveston, and then we went to Big Bend. But this year we went like Austin, and then Big Bend. Austin, we were there a week before those mail bombings.
Good. Oh, God.
Weird. Felt weird watching that on the news.
Wow.
Galveston's great, isn't it?
Galveston's great.
Have you been to Padre, like South Padre?
No.
You guys should try that.
Writing it down. Yeah, so we went to Big Bend because it's big and amazing, and spent like 4 days there. And actually, we don't mind Texans. They like very regular people. Like everyone, you can be like, oh, they're so nice because they're from blah. And then you find like a bad egg, and you're like, oh, just kidding. You are asshats.
Yeah.
Asshat. I like that.
Yeah, and then we went to, I don't even remember, South Yano, which is like a state park. We went to Chiricahua.
Is this driving?
Yes.
Nice road trip.
Yes, we do like 2 14-hour days to like get there. And then, yay. And then we did 2 14-hour days on the way back. And we were like,
yeah, that's exhaustion.
Yeah.
Hey guys, before we get rolling with the podcast, do you want to give me a kind of an idea when you want to cue these songs? Or how you want to go about?
What songs do you have?
So I have piano plus guitar plus string, piano plus harp plus guitar, live guitar and string.
Do you know which ones are which?
Yeah. There's one that says She Struck Flynn. I think that's the first one.
All right.
I'll do that first, and then the harp or the harp one, and then the other one.
Thank you.
Because the first one's kind of like I wrote that one 6 or 7 years ago, or whenever they got married. That was a while ago, before we had this business. So that's like my process has changed quite a bit since then. So.
All right. So she struck, then the harp, then the piano plus guitar plus string.
Yep.
All right. No problem. I got them in that order.
Sweet. And then how do we go about? We just say, like once we start talking about it, we'll just say, let's listen to
DJ,
that.
play that track.
The best thing ever is like YouTube is just more befores and more afters, so we don't really care if we're not terribly eloquent. That's why I can talk about my pit stains. And then for the audio, like if you say a bunch of stuff that you're like, oh, that was mumbo jumbo, you get one edit that Ian will edit out.
One? Wow, we only get
This is a
one.
weird
Wow.
rule.
Was that good?
I'm not even familiar with that rule.
Oh, I just made it up.
No
because
F-bombs.
I used to be like, don't worry, Ian will edit everything out. And he was like, oh, maybe don't promise that.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe that's a lot of work.
yeah.
Well, I don't have a problem editing out. It's just I need you to find the edit spots, and then I can cut them.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Cool.
Under promise, over deliver.
And
You
when
can
I
just start the cutting now,
Yeah.
and in about an hour.
Nice. All right. Yeah, we've got the audio rolling. We're streaming on YouTube. I'm recording everything, but I mean, we can obviously cut everything until you start. So.
Okay, ready to go. I remember at my wedding, I have an aunt, great great aunt, who sang me a tune. Okay, so tell me if you've ever heard this wedding song. It's something like, I'm getting married in the morning. Ding dong, the voting bells will ring.
No.
Oh my
It
gosh.
sounds like a film song.
Well, it's probably from the 40s.
Yeah.
So there's that.
I've heard that melody.
Yeah, right?
Was
And
this
it's like
during the
do,
ceremony
do,
she
do, do.
did this?
No, right before.
Okay.
I don't know how she saw me right before. My dress was so tight I couldn't bend in half. So before the ceremony, we had some downtime, and my bridesmaids lined up chairs, and I laid on them.
Nice.
I was like,
You
I
know?
can't stand.
You got to do it.
Yes, but love that song. Totally stuck with me. I think it's also in our wedding video. She like sang it again. I think she was just like really proud of herself that she like could sing it so good, and so she wanted like more opportunities to sing it. Oh, maybe at my shower too. But I think that the ultimate way to set the tone for a fancy wedding is to have live musicians. What are some other benefits?
Of the live musicians?
Yes.
Oh. Oh, sorry.
Get close.
What I mean, the sound is probably one of the biggest benefits you get from live versus recorded or otherwise, because it just has a feel that you won't get any other way.
I always think too, guests are looking at a wedding ceremony and they're expecting it maybe to be maybe boring, right? They're
Yeah.
like, oh, I hope this isn't long,
I think that's the unfortunate
right?
reality.
Because maybe they went to one wedding where it was like the officiant went on.
My
and
God, we went to a
on
Greek wedding. It
and
was just like
on
this
and on.
45-minute.
Yeah, Catholic mass, that can't
Ugh.
be helped. It's
No.
There's a ritual, but I think that having live musicians really engages your guests, so they
Yep.
have something to look at. It's like a free concert.
It
Like
is.
what the heck? You're welcome. We're
Yep.
getting married, and here's free like concert music by a professional musician.
Yeah,
That's a
even
good
if they don't
point.
know the music, it still just brings a good vibe
Right.
rather than just
And it does create like the elegance too. I
Yep.
mean, especially if it's a string quartet, it kind of has that awe factor of,
Yep.
ooh, is that a violin?
Oh my gosh, I haven't seen a mandolin ever.
Wow.
Like,
It does take the fanciness of the ceremony up.
Right?
Tenfold.
elevated.
Totally.
And okay, what are the instruments that you guys provide or like play? Do you compose? So just explain everything
Oh, yeah.
about abiding harmony
Oh.
to me and the listeners who are uneducated.
Well, I can speak best to the music as far as what I do. I compose original music for the couple, kind of based on a series of questions that they answer via questionnaire. And
How do you compose it?
how? With magic and mystery and all the
Okay,
things
let
that
me write
music
that down.
is.
Magic and mystery.
Well, I utilize like from the questionnaire, they'll give me their favorite song list, like their top 5 favorite songs.
yeah.
And I'll steal ideas from those tunes. Like, let's say it's a John Legend song with a great melody, so I'll steal that melody and make it like an inner voicing of the violin line. And
Oh, I
then-
see what you're saying.
Yeah, so I take those melodies and pretty much just create a framework to then write original like melody on top of it that's not stolen.
Yes, because that would be
Cheating. I never
illegal.
cheat. The stealing is fine. It's the borrowing where you get into trouble, because if you steal something in music, you're actually making it your own. If you borrow it, you're just not changing anything. So I really try to steal these concepts. And it's not just melody. It's like I'll think about the songs in general. Like if they're all rock songs, like, okay, well, what makes rock music besides melody? Like what makes it? Power chords, guitars,
yeah.
you know.
Like what is actually the part of that music that speaks to that couple,
Yep.
who they are, and what they want to
Exactly.
walk down to the
Yep.
aisle.
Right? So then how can I then take that and make something fresh with it musically? So it's fun. It's a challenge because every couple has this whole slew of different interests in music, and like just what, how they met, all that kind of stuff helps with just like the creative process. And like I'll just sit there and read it a couple times, the questions, and think about them and like listen to the music and take a bunch of notes. And I don't actually start composing until I've gone through and spent several hours just like mulling over their ideas and what they wrote and
Getting
the music.
inspired.
Exactly. And then one of the other big things I'll use is dates, because numbers are big with music, obviously I shouldn't say obviously. For those
Unless
that-
you're an idiot.
Yeah, God.
Don't you know this?
If bozos don't know. But intervals in music are a big thing, and they're all just based on numbers. So like if you're like the last one we did was 3/2 2018. So I'll use that exact sequence, and it'll be like a third interval is the first jump in the melody. Then it's a 0 is a unison. 2 is kind of squeaky because it can be a major or minor second. So anyway, like I'll use those numbers.
Thank
and
you for saying so. Anyways, because I was
anyways,
like,
right? I know.
What he's talking about.
Right.
Yes, it can be tricky and squeaky.
Tricky and squeaky.
Yes.
You know, those
Seconds.
numbers and notes, they're very squeaky.
But you try to make it be more impactful.
Mm-hmm.
And what about is tempo or beat words that I
They
should throw in
are,
there?
yes.
And how maybe they are wanting something for their processional, but there's a part where the bride is going to walk down with 2 non-parents because maybe her parents are deceased, or maybe, you know, there's something that's going to be really meaningful. Do you kind of take that into account, the order of the processional,
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah.
what might be hitting at that time in the song?
Yeah, as much as we can. I mean, it varies because the walk is always such.
Where are you getting married? How many people are in your wedding
Exactly,
party?
and like how long are you going to walk? Because then they always walk faster, so that's a big issue.
I know, Josie's in the back. Slow down!
Yeah.
Slow down!
And they're cruising though, so. But yeah, there's typically a processional for the parties, and then a separate thing for the bride.
Okay, so you do separate, and
Yeah.
you're there on site during the ceremony,
Mm-hmm.
both. And do you like, what if it does go really fast? Sometimes do you like fade out?
You have to.
You have to.
And does
Yeah.
that kind of crush your soul a little bit? Like, there was 5 more minutes of excellent,
Oh,
yes.
excellent composed music, and
Yes.
you're
Yeah.
missing out. So do you ever go to rehearsals with couples? Or
We
give
ha-
them the music ahead of time? Sorry to cut.
Oh
cut
yeah,
out.
I always send like as I'm going, like I'll finish bits of it and send them to hear it. And no one's ever complained, which is a good thing. Like, dude, you suck. Try
Yeah.
again.
Thanks for this.
yeah.
I had a bride that had given a guitarist a piece to convert into guitar music, and she did say, "This sucks."
Wow.
He like recorded
During
a,
the rehearsal.
no, this was like maybe like 2 weeks before. She was like, "Thanks for sending this my way. We don't like it."
I mean,
Keep
rather be
trying.
honest,
I
like
know.
I would always rather people tell me, because with film music too, it's like if you don't tell me what you want, I'm going to give you what I think works, and that's me.
And maybe
Like,
you
Yeah.
just like watched the Lord of the Ring trilogy, so that's kind of in your head.
I can't
don't
help
know.
it. You know what comes out. Sometimes it's
Parks and
there.
Rec.
I feel like, okay, this is a small digression, but I feel like I just watched a couple of movies where I feel like the composers must have been like all smoking the same thing or something, because they sound so similar, like certain elements. Okay, I watched the first new Star Trek and Sicario. Did you ever see that? Josh Brolin and Benicio del Toro.
Oh yeah.
And one other one, and it was
Mason X.
a really scary one, Seven.
Oh sure.
And it was like
Man.
the same, like, like
I
like Alien kind
I feel
of.
like Hans Zimmer did Star Wars, or somebody
Oh,
huge did Star
I got a
Wars.
fact.
You wonder who the
Trek.
composer
I can't
was.
fact check it because I don't know how to use technology that quickly. But
Fact check it. Come on, do it.
yes, but I feel like that sometimes you like hear music and you're like, oh, that must be this guy, and then you're like, it's not.
Well,
Some
more-
other
I
dude.
feel like more and more, especially with film music, it's in this place where they just don't care enough about melody and things
Yeah.
that like you can actually latch on to. There's actually some really cool YouTube videos that talk about this break in film music in the last 15 to 20 years, how it's so much more of like rumbling and sound effect and atmosphere,
Yes.
and not like the pretty, not always pretty, but not like Star Wars. It's like, you know.
Orchestral,
Yeah,
is that a
yeah.
word?
Yeah, it's a word. You know,
Yeah.
it's a good word. But even like they'll still be doing orchestral scores, but it's still just like sound effect. Like
Yeah.
the strings are murmuring,
Oh, yeah.
and
I
they're
see
still
what you're
just
saying.
not like things that like leitmotifs or melodic fragments that you can actually remember. Like,
Right.
I feel
Right.
like that's just less and less an issue that
Like
composers
movies
work.
don't have like a theme song
Yeah.
anymore.
No,
Like the
it's-
beginning, it's going to be some hit song from the 70s.
Right.
And then the end is going to be like a weird rock song from like 90s. And
Yep.
you're like, why? This doesn't tie into the movie at all.
Yeah, it's weird. Although Pixar is a good exception to that because they're just killing it.
Killing it.
They
Their
use
music
great
is
music.
so good.
Yeah.
Like Finding Dory,
Yeah.
the music
I
is
haven't watched it
amazing.
yet.
Moana or Moana.
Moana.
Oh my God, that one
Yes.
just I love that one. And then what's the
Weeping.
Yeah, I cried
Just
all of
weeping.
them. The grandma for some reason gets me in that one. She's super sweet. And then what's the Coco?
Yes.
Oh, I just love that.
Okay,
They're
so that,
so
is
good.
that where you, as like an individual, draw inspiration from?
Coco?
Pixar movies?
Some of it, yeah. They're
What-
just so good.
Any other composers? We talked about Hans.
Got
Oh.
your John Williams.
Oh, well, there's a lot. I mean, outside of film, too, there's a lot of amazing people. Like, I just heard the Luck String Quartet played a couple nights ago, and they did, what's his name right now? I can't think of it. He only wrote one string quartet.
Isn't that the worst? We can't think.
Ravel, Maurice Ravel, one string quartet. It's like the most romantic, sexy. It's just like, I was talking to my friend Adam the other day. It's
Like, speaks to your soul.
It's so good, so
Yeah.
powerful. And it's the only one he wrote, and it's just like,
one and done.
why didn't you do more?
Because they wouldn't have been as good.
Yep.
Probably not.
He probably did write a bunch of
He's
other
like,
ones,
I'm
and he
only
threw them
releasing-
right in the toilet.
Probably did.
He was like, this one's going down.
This is it.
Going down.
Well, okay, so Bill, you compose music specifically for the couple,
Mm-hmm.
which is, I think, incredible. What do you feel like couples enjoy most about that feature or the process, or what is something that you hear them often say afterwards? That was difficult for me to ask.
No, I don't know. Just that it was really special.
Yeah. I think getting some feedback from the parents is
Yes.
also when they like the one wedding we did last May. The parents came afterward and were just like, that was the most beautiful.
Yeah.
It just like gives them a better feeling about their child.
Yes.
Giving,
We
you know,
thought they were going to get divorced, but now we feel much
now
better.
they have this music to hang on to forever.
Yeah.
Well, and they just like appreciated the fact that it was customized. It wasn't just like we picked a song. It was
Right.
like somebody spent hours, thinking about their kids and.
Yep, it's very similar to like you don't just buy the same dress that your friend had. You get a dress that's specific to you.
Exactly.
You don't just like say the same vows. Maybe you do. Sorry.
Some people might.
I know.
You make it kind of specific to you.
Yep.
Well, no matter what, you make it specific to you.
Right.
And okay, so how does the process work on the wedding day? So like you show up, what equipment gets set up? Where do you get set up?
Yeah,
What do you require from the couple?
we will generally get in touch with the venue beforehand and kind of let them know that we're bringing all of the production equipment. And
Trailer.
then day of is kind of show up at 9 a.m. maybe before.
Early.
Yeah.
What?
We'll get there
Brides
to make
and grooms,
sure.
this is not typical.
Yeah, and sometimes it's like we get there and the power is a little sketchy, so we'll have
Yeah.
to run somewhere and buy.
Like if it's a barn venue.
Mm-hmm.
We've had the day of the Kai Hai wedding. Everything was set up. We checked it a million times, and like 20 minutes before, the power in the house is starting to get sketchy, and everything's on and off, on and off. So yeah, those things kind of happen. So it's nice to get in touch with the venue beforehand and be like,
And
this
if
is
there
what we
isn't
need.
great power, do you just rent a generator?
"Yep." that
And
would
there
be the
are
option.
generators that are quieter, so they're
Yep.
not like. "Dzz."
And
the
get
whole
that
time.
200-foot extension cord.
Yes,
Put
exactly.
it as far
Hide it
away
behind
as
a
you
bush.
can. Yep.
And we
Yep.
try to deal with everything so that the couple can just not even think about it.
So the couple is telling you what they need for their ceremony, like, oh, we'd like you to start playing 10 minutes before guest arrival. We have a processional song that we want for our bridal party, but we'd also like a separate one for like our important family members, and then one for like the bride. And then maybe they want a piece played during like a ceremony in their ceremony, like if they're doing candle lighting
Yeah.
or sand pouring or tree planting.
Yeah, I mean, the
And
way
then
he
the
talks about
recessional.
it, it's like we'd really like it to end up feeling like he's underscoring it like a movie.
Yeah.
So that every aspect of it sort of has, like when it's like, and now you may kiss the bride, and then the strings come in, and it's like
Right.
this beautiful,
Right?
Everyone's like
Everyone is just
soaking
melting
wet
away.
with tears.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the fun part too is that silence is just as important as the music and film too. So it wouldn't be 30 minutes of music. It's like, okay, well, let's think about the flow of your ceremony and what you want, and we can have more music here. We can dial it down.
Yep.
bring it out for this part. We can bring it back in for the tree digging or whatever that part might be, and then come back out. Tree planting, you know. I'm a tree hugger. But yeah, I think that's kind of like, we want to use the term cinematic, but don't really feel that we can yet, because we're not. It's more about the processional, the bridal walk, and processional right now. We haven't really gotten into people's
whole ceremony.
Yeah.
But then maybe you want to work with the officiant so they know, like, you can start talking while the music is still playing. I'm going to fade it out as you get louder.
Yep.
And that's how, like, when you go to, like, a seminar or a speech and, like, it's really well produced and they walk up and there's music playing and everyone's clapping and then they start talking but the music is still going and then it goes down and then...
Nice little fade.
Like, oh, that's
good
when
engineer.
you're like, oh, my $500 was well spent.
Absolutely.
Now let me get my free pencil.
And chapstick.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yes, I agree. Okay, second digression. Have you heard of the cinematic orchestra? It's like a band.
Yeah.
Yeah,
a
it sounds
group.
familiar.
Oh, those are some of my favorite.
It's like wall of sound kind of stuff, right?
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yep.
Anyways, okay. So, what is the best place you would say for your setup to be, and can you talk a little more about what the setup is? Because let's say I'm a bride, I'm really concerned. I really want my ceremony to be really pretty, and I don't want there to be speakers and cords and microphones everywhere. Like, how do you set up so you're a little more in the background?
Yeah, I'd say the background is the key word. We definitely try to stay as far back as we can. The PA that we have is...
What's a PA?
A PA system, speaker system.
Yay.
It's white, and it's kind of like these little towers that sit on subs. And you probably wouldn't know that it was a system if you looked at it.
Yeah, I love that.
Pretty
and
elegant.
we can space it out really far. And as far as like miking them goes, I use an omnidirectional microphone, which means that it picks up everything around it. Like this would be, we have to talk into this cardioid. Omni picks up everything, so one microphone in between the couple and the officiant.
Yep.
No need to hold any mic, no need for any talking into a lavalier. Everyone can kind of just feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Bride and groom, or couple, shouldn't say bride and groom, they can just hold their hands and not have to worry about sort of anything but focusing on their vows and each other.
Right. I think that's so awkward when they're like passing a mic and then they also bring out like, because we can't be in the 90s anymore, so you can't write your vows on postcards. I don't even know. Do people still use?
We have definitely had. We've had the
Do people
two
even
sheets
use
of
it?
paper where they're like
Or-
15-minute vows, like no joke, 15
Or an
minutes each.
150-page journal
Right.
with like 1 8-point or 8-font
Yeah,
Arial
it's true.
type in it.
Those vows were just amazing.
The longest.
It was like
It was
20 minutes of vows.
20 minutes of vows.
Amazing.
I've never in my life.
They just really care.
I can't
about
even.
People knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To each their own.
It's very
so
true.
you guys are kind of off in the back, like let's say chairs. So before the chairs,
Yeah, we
maybe
would sort
by
of
like
be
10 feet.
As
20
honestly,
feet.
if we're outside, we'll be as far back as we can be without having some issues with like cable length or something.
And does that Omni microphone need to be plugged in?
It would, yep.
So
Yep.
there'd be one kind of
One
extension
cable.
cord going out the back.
Yep,
and
one
then the
XLR
speakers
cable.
could be anywhere.
Yep.
And do you usually stick with the 2 speakers? What if it's a ceremony of 300 and it's right on a lake that's usually pretty windy?
Yep, I would just supplement with a couple extra in the back.
Yeah.
They might not be as elegant as the ones in the front, but
Then people can hear.
can still
and it's not
keep
gonna
it
be in the
super
pictures.
wide. Exactly. Keep it wide enough to where like people aren't kind of hearing it come from the speaker. They're just kind of hearing
it.
sound.
Just hearing it.
Yeah, it's more natural. I
Yeah.
think the Omni microphone picks up a lot of like cool nuances, like mom crying in the front row
Aw.
kind of thing,
Birds
so that the
chirping.
people in the back can literally hear mom sort of weeping in the front. Yeah, it's kind of a cool.
Oh, is that Diane? She's so sweet.
Yeah, exactly.
Pass her my Kleenex.
And you know, great Aunt Betty who can't hear real well gets to hear, you know, the vows.
Plus, tell
Betty.
your great
clear.
Aunt Betty to turn up
Great
her
Aunt
hearing
Betty.
aids for the ceremony.
Turn up your hearing aids.
Yeah.
I don't think you can turn up hearing aids. Actually, now that I said that, I've never seen a dial on hearing aids.
Some
No,
of them
I guess
do. They
not.
might.
And
I've heard people say, like, turn up your volumes. What is that? Happy Gilmore with Ben Stiller? 4 hours today.
That's right. It's a different kind of volume.
It is.
So, speakers can be supplemented. In general, where do you place those two speakers? At the front, in the middle?
The main two would be
at the front.
at the
facing
front,
out.
but as far wide as I can get them without getting into photos, because we don't want that to interfere. Because those
it's so
those
ugly
sort
in
of wide
photos.
shot with
It
like
just
the
is.
if there's archways with flower, we don't want to interfere with any of that.
Luckily, they look really nice, though.
They
Like, even
do.
if in
So
the
it's
photos,
not as big of a sore thumb
Yeah,
as
it's
black
not-
speakers.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
I never use, like, they're not my pictures, but photographers that give me pictures of wedding ceremonies, I never use the ones that have speakers in them or that even have the microphone stand in the center.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's so
that's a thing.
obtrusive to what I want to relay to my audience, which
Yep.
is like about the couple and the love, unless it is, I think, on my posts about like how to DIY your sound for your ceremony.
Sure.
Like it's like, and here's what it looks like. Here's the actual speaker
Yep.
in the picture.
Yeah, and
But
on mic, we've actually had the photographers
move
just
it.
just Photoshop the microphone right out of the picture.
Slick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
it only
Or
comes up.
Because they're
to-
not holding it, so it's not like it's
Yeah.
like this awkward.
Or if the officiant, before she's like, you may now kiss the whatever, can
Yep.
move it.
oh yeah,
And
absolutely.
I love when the officiant steps out for that part
Mhm.
and then pronounces them and they walk down. I love that. I think that's so sweet because it's like, hey,
It's their
officiant,
moment.
we really like that you're here. Thanks for making it legal, but get out of the picture.
Yeah,
You said the main part. You said it.
you did your job.
And done. Okay, so what are the ceremony layouts that you most prefer? So by that I mean how the chairs are set up and then where the people stand. Like if you have ever done like a round chair
No.
where the chairs are set up in a circle all the way around, or U-shape, or amphitheater style. So maybe it's on a hill. And
Sure.
there's multiple levels.
Man, I would say amphitheater would be the best, just
then
as
the
far as
sound
like
goes-
natural amplification. But
They all sound pretty fun, though.
That's how Silverwood is. Has
in
like
the
a little
round, I feel like
amphitheater.
would be a challenge
'Cause
to
where
get
do you put
sound
them?
everywhere.
And then the pictures.
Yeah, I don't know how you would do that.
Mm-hmm.
You maybe mic it from like the back or have the speakers shooting in.
Simply
behind people?
Elegant just posted a picture Ashley did of round, and I think it was either at Aria or at Muse. Sorry, Ashley. And it's a really cool setup. Like it looks really cool.
Yeah, I think Aria has a really high-end sound system there.
Oh yeah, in
Like
house.
flown
So
like
maybe that's
speakers.
what it
So
is.
yeah, I feel like they can do that
like on
there with
strings.
Yeah, they've
invisible
got-
wires.
Aria's got it.
That'd be sweet.
That's a cool venue.
Yes. Okay. So, what if a couple wants your music during the ceremony and then through cocktail hour and dinner, but those 3 events are all in different locations? Like, let's say they're getting married at Golden Valley Country Club and they're getting married outside, and then their guests move into like the foyer, and then their guests move into the ballroom for dinner. Like, how do you successfully execute those transitions without there being like large amounts of downtime or equipment setups after the ceremony has already started?
Yeah, I'd say for the music portion of that, we would just pre-record a lot of that. So if they wanted, I guess if they wanted live musicians during that cocktail hour, we could have that music, already printed out and just give that to them, and they could be set up in there already.
Right.
Um,
So it's just about kind of finagling.
it is. It's a
Like,
little.
what's your budget?
Yeah, exactly.
First of
Like
all.
how many
Yeah.
PA speaker systems do I need to set up?
Right.
Cocktail hour, I feel like it's such a background thing. Like
Yep.
maybe projecting it isn't as necessary.
Yep.
So skip that PA and maybe just go right into the reception part of it.
I think couples spend a really long time creating a cocktail hour playlist. Have you ever experienced that?
No.
And I don't think it matters as much as they want it to.
Yeah.
Because people they're not going to be focused on that.
No.
They're like, oh my God, Jill, your hair is so cute.
Yeah,
Haven't seen in a week.
I'm always shocked that people spend an extra $1,000 to get people to play during that
Cocktail
portion.
hour.
Because you're
Why
kind
not
of just
dinner
like,
when you're sitting down? Everyone
Yeah.
can see them. And
and dinner music is like a thing. Cocktail hour, like you said, it could easily be a Spotify
loud.
playlist
yes.
on a
But you
Bluetooth
didn't
speaker.
suggest that, right?
No, I sure didn't. No, absolutely not.
Well, plus, I guess we haven't done too much outside of the ceremony yet,
Right.
so it's been like we're usually packing up and getting out of there while they're getting ready for dinner or
Yeah.
whatever. So
You're like, peace out, have a great life.
yeah, thanks for having us.
Here's your music.
Well, because the music part too, it's like the most important part is writing for the specific moments in the ceremony. So, I mean, heck, if people have the funds to pay me to compose music for the dinner, sure, I'll write an hour's worth of music for you. It just costs $175 per minute, so
There you go.
it adds up. But if you want it, I'm happy to do it.
Yes, anytime.
Mm-hmm.
Or their grand march. That would be cool.
Yeah.
To have something like really unique and
Totally.
specific. And so then it wasn't such a yawn for the guests being like, oh, you're going to introduce all of them.
Yeah, totally.
The dancing. It's always the
Yes.
dancing nowadays.
The fish
Yeah,
hook.
that's right.
Yeah, yes. Oh, man.
The rope pull.
The rope pull.
Oh, there's like, or the posing, like paparazzi.
Oh, yep.
Yes. Overdone, guys.
Everyone stole it from The Office.
I had a couple do that. Like
The
like
Jim
the
and Pam
exact,
down the.
exact thing, and it was hilarious to me. I laughed a lot. I don't know if other people were laughing
We're so
as hard,
into the
but I
idea.
loved it, and I love that couple, Eloise and Marvin. You guys are adorable.
Some people are so traditional though.
Yes.
Like they can't get past when something is different, which is something that we're trying to get past with the music part. Is like, well, don't we just use canon in D for the bridal walk?
Yes.
Like, isn't that what we do? Isn't that what all weddings do? It's like,
you
well,
can walk down to whatever you
anything.
want.
Yeah,
What if,
one
if they
couple-
want a dance track, he'll write a 4 on the floor,
Yeah.
Yeah, I do a lot of
electronic
I love
beat.
dance music.
like whatever.
Or what if they really like a song, but like 8 lines in, it like talks about sex or something really inappropriate. They're like, we want this song, but we can't have the words because half of our wedding is over 50.
yeah, just rearrange it.
Yeah.
I say
You'll
he's
do that?
done. He's done Prince's "Do Me Baby" for string quartet and guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Justin Timberlake
Spaceship Coupe.
"Spaceship Coupe."
I think
Yep.
that's really cool too when you hear music and you're like, hey,
I
is
know
that,
that.
is that that one song? Oh
Yeah.
my
Yep.
gosh, this is great. I love that song.
Yep.
I think it's even more fun when people know bits of the music. It
Right.
definitely. And I try to do that too, where you sprinkle in melodies that, you know,
People know.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. And it keeps guests engaged during the ceremony and before. This might come as a shock to everyone, but your guests actually will arrive really early, like 45 minutes. So what are they going to do during that time? And having the music start kind of is like an invitation to sit. So then they are not hovering around the window trying to sneak peek you in your dress.
Right.
And it's like, go away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the
It's
outdoor
not where
weddings
people are gathered.
that can get awkward.
And
People are
they're
showing up
wide
and they're
open
just like,
spots.
yeah, it's like there's all these 150 seats over here, and then
And no one wants to
150
sit in
people
them.
just kind of mingling.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like, doesn't this start in 5
Yeah,
minutes?
like,
Like,
we're supposed to be sitting down.
where's the
man?
planner?
Yeah. Oh, that's me. Yeah. Running around being like, you guys, it's really difficult to sit 150 people in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Can you go get a head start?
The music's
Thanks.
going here.
Yes. I as soon as I see like the first bus or the first group of people, I sprint over to whoever's doing the music. I'm like, turn it on,
Yeah.
please. For the
Because
love
it does,
of
it
God.
draws folks in.
Yes. And also having programs.
Yep.
People, I think brides and grooms are always like, oh, our ushers will do that. You picked all introverted ushers. So actually, they're not doing that. They look great in their suits. They look great. But they're
Oh, that's
not
good.
forward. So, okay. So you guys said that you will attend rehearsals or you do, or how do you give them the music so they can practice to it? How does that kind of process work? Or how ideally would you like it to work?
I would say ideally going to the rehearsal would be the opportunity for us to time.
Mm-hmm.
So we can, even if we don't have the music there, or we can have something on a phone, or just to kind of see how long the bridal party will take to get to their spot.
Yes.
Subtract a minute from that since they'll walk twice as fast.
It's so
During the day of.
difficult.
Mhm.
That is like literally the bane of my existence. Like practicing, and then it doesn't go like that on the day of.
Yeah.
And then like the string quartet, I have to be like, I don't know what happened. Like we practiced it perfect, but you have to stop playing now.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah, I think
I don't
even
know what happened.
like thinking of that, the practice almost makes it more stressful on our side because it never goes the way it's supposed to. So
And not like everything gets messed up.
No,
Just like
but-
we practice it, practice this, and everyone was walking nicely, and it took an a minute and 17 seconds, and then on the day of you're at 30 seconds and everyone's already sitting down and you're like, what?
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's why it's good too. Like if you have live players, like for someone like me to be there, I can be conducting them, and like since I know the music really well, and if we've rehearsed it, then we can
Yes.
like we got the chance to talk. We did the trend wedding, and there was some big mistakes that happened when it was being filmed. But luckily, I got the chance to work with the players for like an hour beforehand and rehearse through the music, and we talked about if this happens, like I'll be there to
Yeah.
bring you guys out. Then we'll go into the next part, and
Yeah.
it worked as well as it could have.
Yeah.
It is tricky.
It was insane.
They played like 16 measures of
8 minutes of music.
yeah.
It
the
was
thing
crazy.
that is hard is like, because as a planner, like I'll be there cueing, like I do finger guns. Anyone who's been at my weddings, you
Nice.
know, I did shooter fingers to you.
Oh, shooter.
Because otherwise, if I like point, they're like, me? Who, me? Oh, them? I'm like, you're next in line. Just go.
Go.
Like, yes. And so I'm cueing them, but I can't necessarily like dictate the pace at which they're walking.
Sure.
So even if I have like, I had a bride do this, and she was like, here's the outline, and when it hits 20 seconds, like use your stopwatch, and at 20 seconds, cue this person, at 26 seconds, cue this person. Even if I do that, if the pair is walking faster or slower, I'm not going to be like, okay, you go next, because then there's a cluster,
Yep.
and it looks like butthole,
Yep.
and then everyone's like, Josie, you messed it up. So it's
all
like
your fault.
either way. But I do think having live music or extra music is so helpful, because then it gives you less stress, a little bit of leeway to like take a little bit longer or go shorter.
Yep. If we can play the music for them, sometimes that would help. Like when you were talking tempo,
Yes.
you can say like, you hear that?
Yes, but we're
ticking?
in Minnesota, so it's all.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We're just like, try to step
We
with
play
this
polka music, maybe.
piece. Yeah, right.
That's
Yeah.
actually not a bad idea. I didn't even think about.
Like dun 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 dun.
Yeah, like
dun,
that could be a thing.
Yep. Follow the tempo.
Yeah.
That way we know it's going to take you X amount of seconds or minutes, whatever.
Abiding
to get.
harmony dance classes.
Dance classes. We need to expand our business.
I want to learn how to break dance. I don't know about you guys.
Just watch Flashdance
Oh,
over and
man.
over and over again.
I wish I could do that.
Okay, so maybe for sure practice. I feel like we're kind of wishy-washy on that. Practice. Maybe have your wedding party listen to the song so they know what the pace is, and then just don't worry about it. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, it's one of
gonna
those
be
like
fine.
show up and we're gonna do our part. And just like you were saying at the trend wedding, it was a 180 from the practice, but
Because people are so nervous.
Yeah, and during the
the
ceremony-
rehearsal, they're like, whatever, this is easy. I just walk there. And you're like, yeah, but
and we're definitely not trying to cause a scene. So we're just like, okay,
just do
if they're
it.
done, we'll cue them off.
Yeah.
Cue the bridal walk. Here we
So
go.
many little
if it's
things.
45 seconds, then that's what it is.
I had a groom like come back, like he like escorted his mom, then came back, and then he walked down, and then he came back. He's like, now who? And I was like, no, that
That was it.
stay there.
Wow.
He's so cute because he's so nervous, and
Yeah.
it's like, and then that threw everything out. And then I've had like music changes in the middle of the bridal party. Like half of them had gone, and the other half.
Oh,
So I was like, oh, wait a second, I guess. There's just going to be a little silent pause. Those were the important bridal party members. You guys are subpar.
Well, you just get the silent walk.
yeah.
That's
I guess
awesome.
that's where having
Oh, man.
having the live musician where you can just kind of give
Keep
them the old
going.
like, yep,
And I always write more than I need to, just because it's just good to have
Yeah.
extra.
Yeah.
Plus, you're giving them a piece of music and not just
Yeah.
like a 45-second
Right. They get
memento. They get
like
like a full piece.
3 to 5 minutes worth of music after the whole thing is done. So
When they get to the front, when should whoever it is, if the bride is the last one to get to the front or the groom, how long should music play before it like fades out or stops? You know, what's your
I really like it to kind
General
of be
thumb.
playing in.
Yeah,
As
like-
she's kind of like hugging or looking.
Parents.
Yeah, and like officiants don't necessarily always get right into it.
yeah?
There's kind of like a pause, and people are handing flowers or something. You know, there's like some
Hopefully they
maneuvering
remember that.
around. Yeah. So I'm totally down to maybe just have it come down in volume, but to stay until you have an officiant kind of give us like a cue.
Please
yeah,
be seated.
Please
Totally.
be seated. Yeah.
I think that's kind of the music cue to fade.
Yep.
The please be seated cue.
Equals fade. I'm writing that for the show notes, listeners. Okay, so you can hear your music before the big day. Like you'll send sample. When do you send it when you're finished and it's like 2 weeks before the wedding, or when do you usually send out?
It depends on the time frame.
Yeah, if they're like, I'm getting married in a month.
Yeah, that's kind of been a lot of what we've done so far
Oh.
has been at the very end.
When would it be more ideal for people to reach out?
When they're planning everything else, like if they could, because music is often
They're
left.
probably planning everything else in that month also. That's why they reached out.
But I think from what we've seen and talked to people, music is kind of left till the end because like, oh, we'll just play something, or we'll just have an MP3 or whatever.
And then they can't find anything they like.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so maybe when they hire their officiant.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
then like the more time, like we hello.
I know.
We've got to, edit that one out.
Keep it in.
I guess this is live. We have a couple now, and they're not getting married until September 20th.
And that's beautiful.
Oh,
We
I mean,
love
I have
that.
all the time. Because, I mean, from a creative standpoint, I can get so much more in depth with the process that
Right.
the more time I have, the better.
The more time you have, the better.
Yeah.
Awesome. And what about if, like, I have a cousin and she wants to sing during our ceremony instead of reading a blessing, and she wrote an original piece. Can you help her compose it?
Totally.
Okay, I don't have a cousin that is doing that.
No, but that's
That's
the
a
thing.
great idea.
Yes.
Yeah, like we're really open to what people want to do. So if they want to do something special or different,
Creative.
and, yeah, like we're
It is always the family member too. It's like, oh yeah, my cousin plays French horn,
Yeah.
or my dad plays acoustic guitar or
it's
something.
like-
Dads are
Boom.
pretty musical in
Dads are.
Minnesota.
You know?
it's
I had a dad at a
dad.
wedding.
I know. I'm pointing at
Yeah,
myself.
you're the dad.
I'm the dad.
I had a dad at a wedding, and he played the piano, and it was so beautiful. He was like a classically trained pianist, and it was like, oh, he just like, whoa. It's
'Cause
at
it's
American
emotional.
Swedish Institute too, so it was like
Music,
super,
music
nice.
is
pretty.
just emotional.
Yeah, right.
It just is.
And like, hey, I wanted to play this for you.
Yeah.
What for me? That's nice. I'm so happy to get married. Do you suggest? I already know what you're gonna say. I'm trying to save money on my wedding. Well, can I just hire the DJ to do my ceremony too? I mean, they're already doing my reception. Wouldn't that be easier, cheaper?
I mean, yeah, it would, but you're gonna miss out on.
And we can totally kind of like just do the music. If they really just want some music written for them, we could do that and send it to a DJ,
Yeah.
and they can play that during the ceremony.
Right.
It is
Yeah,
a possibility.
If it's a budget thing, then
It's a budget. If they, especially if they have the DJs, like a lot of them nowadays are like a full day.
Well,
You don't
yeah,
get
they
them just
do-
for reception. They do
What they do is the reception, and then it'll be like $300 for the ceremony.
Right.
And so they're already there. So then I think
Yep.
couples are like, oh, it's just so much easier than having live music, which
Mhm.
I disagree. But
Yeah. But
Yeah,
to
I-
each your own, it's like
Yep.
but it's an option if they still want.
you would create something
Yep.
and give up.
Same with
the-
like a destination wedding. We've had people ask us like, well, I'm getting married in Mexico. It's like, well, we'll go to Mexico.
yeah,
But
so
we could also
all we'll
send,
charge is our flight.
Yeah.
Super easy.
Super
We'll sleep
easy.
on the beach.
Maybe the Airbnb.
that'd be so great.
We'll pay
Yeah.
for our own food and drinks. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're fine.
Take the salmon.
Awesome. Okay, so going forward with your business, what is your ideal client? Like, who are you most looking forward to working with? A couple who
Loves music,
Yeah,
I guess.
appreciates the arts just
Yeah.
in general and really has like a very sort of like detailed idea of what they're hearing as they walk down the aisle.
yes,
Because some folks do have like a really
they have their
it's like a
Walter
they're
Mitty
determined
moment.
to like really get what they want, and I mean those are the people that are the funnest to work with because they send us really good feedback, and he can take that and create something
Amazing,
amazing,
timeless, unique.
and it's theirs
Classic.
forever,
Timeless.
timeless.
Mhm.
Yes, and then that piece of music can go into their wedding video. And they can watch it over
Exactly.
and over and over again and be like, nobody else has this.
Yep,
Nobody else
and
has
put it on their
this.
phone, and if bad day at work on your ride home, just turn the
Ringtone
Bluetooth
for your
on.
spouse.
There it is. It's all of the above.
Do you want to pull up a track and listen
Yes,
to a little bit of one?
absolutely.
How about we pull up the third track?
And then wave your wand. cry.
Yay.
I like want to cry right now.
That's one of my faves.
Oh
I
man.
just love that melody.
It's just
And-
so exciting. Weddings are so exciting. Ah.
They are.
And that's like such, I don't know. Yeah. Well, if you don't hire Abiding Harmony, you're an idiot. 'Cause that's amazing.
Don't be a bozo.
That's our new tagline.
Yeah. Don't be
With
an
a
idiot.
shooter finger
Yeah.
emoji. It's just so amazing. And like, I don't know. How could you not get emotional listening to that and then watching your spouse to be like either walking down the aisle or walking towards them down the aisle? Like,
Yep.
that's
It's pretty goosebumpy.
Yes, and then all those people that are gathered there to like witness your love and support your love and celebrate your love.
Yeah, I
Love
mean, we like
weddings.
to say we connect the couple with the audience more
Yeah.
because people are just connected to music in that way. That's
And
just
it's so unique.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing, you know, when you listen to some of those other marches, they're fine, but like, oh, my cousin's sister walked down the aisle to this, you know. It's like, oh,
Yep.
now you're thinking about your cousin's sister's wedding.
Yep.
I want you to think about my wedding and how
Exactly.
pretty I am.
I paid for your dinner.
Yeah.
I deserve your attention.
Come on.
Don't talk about Sheila ever. Yes.
Sheila.
Yeah, I think that's great. Anything else that you want listeners to know about Abiding Harmony and about a customized ceremony music piece?
What do you got?
What do I have? I don't know. I mean, I guess it's just something like we want people to know it's there.
Right.
'Cause
It's an
it's-
option.
It's an option. We just want people to know, hey, come and talk to us because really, like, the more you understand what it is and how special it can be, like, who wouldn't want that? And not only that,
wouldn't?
like, you get this music forever.
Right.
You can go back and listen to it again, and hopefully you stay together forever. And it's
Right.
not going to be like the song you throw away, but
But if that did happen, you wouldn't hear on the radio. So, like, that's kind of nice.
Yeah,
you
it's
don't have
true.
to be reminded.
that's true. Yeah, because that's another thing is nobody else will ever hear the song. Nobody, it's very much
yours.
for.
Yeah. I think that's great.
Yeah, we just
Yeah.
want people to talk to us. Like we really just want.
Just come have a coffee with us.
yeah, like come and hang out and just chat about what we do and like why.
We love talking about music.
Yeah,
Just
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Come on down.
I love it.
come on
Oh.
down.
Come on down to Northeast Minneapolis.
Well, I end every episode with a high five, so thank you guys for coming on.
Yep.
That was good.
Thanks for having us.
That could have been awkward,
Absolutely.
but that worked out great.
No, it's a lot of armpit in your face.
Hey, that's
Yeah.
okay.
All that pit sweat.
Pit sweat.
Okay, so anything else that you want to say for YouTubers? Do you have any events coming up? Or anything that you're going to be at? No.
No,
But you have a lot of things in the works. Check them out on Facebook.
we do. Yeah. Check our social media out. We're
Yeah.
trying to be a little more determined with that.
And potentially doing a giveaway at your next wedding fair.
That's a
Yep.
guarantee.
Guaranteed
Yeah,
giveaway.
giveaway. wedding.
Yep.
Guaranteed giveaway.
Oh man, I feel like we should combine, and I'll give away my day of coordinating services for 2019, and you'll give away your ceremony.
Yeah.
Affiliate marketing.
Well, have you
Perfect.
heard of? Well, there's actually two events that maybe you would want to be involved in. One is MS to Mrs., and Mark Fierce, he's a photographer, is giving away a wedding to a couple. So basically, this is how it works: the couple donates a chunk of change to the MS Foundation, and in exchange, they get a wedding from
That's a great
vendors who
idea.
are volunteering their services.
That's a great idea.
Nice.
Very
So,
cool.
and it's a couple that's affected in some way by MS. Mark's wife has MS, so it's a really personal issue to him.
Sure.
Second one
Let's do that.
is Fairy Godmother Project, and that is Amy Coppersmith, photographer, and Terry Uy Lennon, florist. They give away a wedding to a military couple.
Oh.
So same thing.
Very cool
no
ideas.
money, but just a free wedding.
Yeah.
And you have to be like in the military or active or
Sure.
veteran. And this is their 4th or 5th year.
Nice.
And it's going to be, I think, this fall.
How do you get involved in that as a vendor?
You just tell me right now.
Oh, cool. Well, we'd like to do both of those things.
Okay, cool. I'll email intro you to those persons. Mark's wedding is in January, I think. The Fairy Godmother project. I should know this off the top of my head. They emailed me while I was on vacation, so of course I forgot
Yeah, you're buried.
everything.
You're buried.
I was like, read the email, open it, put it in a folder.
4 digits deep in your email inbox.
No, not even close.
Like thousands.
I had like 202 and they were like 150 from
Spam.
like email marketers
Yeah,
that I signed
yeah.
up for. That was like, okay, unsubscribe. This is a bad like binge.
That's a whole day of work.
I know. just
Unsubscribing.
Unsubscribing. Yes, it took me 2 weeks. But yeah, those are great opportunities. So you'll be able to see them there
Great.
for sure. They're awesome.
Yeah.
I think we're
Thanks
all
for
set.
the opportunity.
Let's go forth with our day and be great.
Let's do it.
Be great.
Be great, YouTube.